Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Todd Anderson.
I'm Ross Merriam.
You're watching Versus Live by StarCityGames.com, sponsored by Carnox Chairs. Got Rob over in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
And today we have a very special, I don't want to say event, but we got some special stuff planned.
It's a special episode.
Yeah.
Versus Live.
Yeah. Can you tell them I'm stuttering, man?
It's Todd's last show. He's moving to California this weekend.
Yeah. Got like 3 days left in the city. Mover's already packed all my stuff and took it away.
Yeah, Todd literally he just has a folding chair in an empty house.
And I have a Nintendo Wii, so I can sit on the chair and play.
He's just eating cans of beans with a spoon.
Come on, it's ravioli. Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a tank top and his underwear. That's all he has left.
I only own Sarcy Games shirt. And I own like 4 tees from T Fury that are all like weird, funny stuff. And then I have only Starcy Game shirts.
Okay. So,
I don't have any napkins left either, so the extra Starcy shirts, I just use like napkins. Tell me what we're doing today, man. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
So for Todd's last day, last week against Corey, he brought out some of his favorite decks that he's played all time. We are continuing that theme today. This is the Farewell Tour, Todd's Greatest Hits, Volume 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's a mouthful, I know.
He added the Electric Boogaloo from Break 2. Right?
I don't even know what it's from. I just know anytime a sequel happens.
Yeah, it's X2 Electric Boogaloo. That's from a breakdancing movie. Anyway, first up on the docket.
We're not going to be doing any breakdancing. I just want to make that clear. Maybe Rob will. Rob, do you want to do some breakdancing? It's for the people.
That would be the worst internet video of all time. So
yeah.
maybe.
Also, there's lots of sensitive equipment around.
Yeah.
Any of us even
that
trying.
That would definitely be a cursed TikTok. I don't know if you've seen that Twitter account. It is nice. Anyway, first on the docket, I am playing the mono green Dungrove Elder deck that I brewed up alongside Brian Brown Doonan and David McDarby back circa 2012. This was early 2012, right after, I believe, Dark Ascension was released. There were a lot of new cards showing up all over the place. It was a really powerful set. Lingering Souls was finding a home. A few weeks later at the Pro Tour, I ended up playing the same deck, slightly different list, and that's when Wolf Run Ramp started to get popularized because it actually won one of the opens leading up to the Pro Tour, if I'm not mistaken.
So Wolf Run Ramp was a thing in the fall. It got unveiled in the fall because that was when Inkmoth Nexus was a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But it did win this Pro Tour. It added Huntmaster.
Sure.
It was both finalists. It was Paolo against Kibler.
And they were utilizing Green Sun Zenith as like a way to fetch Birds of Paradise early, but as the game progressed, they could get Primeval Titan, Acidic Slime, certain things along the way to kind of bridge the gap.
Yeah.
But basically, they got to play 8 copies of Primeval Titan, which found Kessig, Wolf Run, and Inkmoth Nexus. We're not quite doing that much of a degenerate thing, but we are playing a deck that also utilizes Green Sun Zenith to find one of my favorite creatures ever printed, Dungrove Elder.
Yeah, there were Gruul lists of this deck. This is just a typical aggressive deck, and the big addition was Stranglergeist from Dark Ascension, and it enabled the curve of turn 1 mana creature, turn 2 sword of some kind, usually War and Peace, and then turn 3 you got to 4 mana. You could play Stranglergeist with haste, equip it with the sword, and connect with the sword on turn 3. Super powerful play.
Yeah, and with so many mana accelerators, even something like Birds of Paradise on 1 into Sword on 2 often threatened lethal over the 2 or 3 attacks against decks like Mono White or Esper Control or Blue White Control. And so just a standalone sword with any of those mana creatures gave the mana creatures added value as the game progressed.
Yeah, so this version of the deck eschews some of the red cards, notably Huntmaster of the Fells, lowers the curve a little bit with Dungrove Elder, a really powerful card with equipment since it has Hexproof, gets really powerful as the game goes along. There was even a mono green Primeval Titan ramp deck, remember, with Dungrove Elder.
Yeah.
And I believe that this was, at the time, it was your best Pro Tour finish, right?
Yeah, it still is, actually.
Still is.
I believe I went 7-2-1 in Constructed and drawing in the last round into top 25.
Yeah.
If I won, I was going to get somewhere around 10th or 11th, but if I lost, I was going to get like 29th. And top 25 requalified you for the next Pro Tour. So instead of playing for effectively 9th place, my opponent and I decided to draw. And we both locked up another Pro Tour invite. And if I'm not mistaken, that might have been against Harry Corvese. But it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I did not know who he was at the time.
I played that Pro Tour. I played the green-red aggressive deck with 4 Sword of War and Peace, and my list was not particularly good. I think I 5-5'd Constructed, but I 5-1 limited, cashed that Pro Tour.
Nice.
Sweet limit.
One of my favorite stories, though. So Brad Nelson told me this story after the Pro Tour. So I played this deck to a top 8 finish at an Open in Washington, D.C., ultimately losing to the deck that we're going to get to in a moment. But as I'm playing for like my win-in on camera, Brad is in a house with a bunch of famous pros, Martin Juza, namely, and they see my deck on screen, and they see me playing. I'm doing all this cool stuff with Dungro Velder. I'm like, Green Sun Zenith for Bellowing Tangleworm to make my Dungro Velders unblockable and like killing my opponent. And Juza just walks over and he goes, Todd Anderson has a better deck than us, and we've been in here for 2 weeks. What are we even doing?
I love it.
So big props to BBD and McDarby for helping tune the deck. It was definitely a joint experience.
So you were, of course, felled in the top 8 of that tournament by Azorius Delver.
Yeah, Ben Isger's ultimately winning list. It was unique at the time. The set was just released. Dark Ascension added Thought Scour and a few other elements to the deck that it didn't have previously. Charles Gindy, before it, had kind of innovated the archetype with Invisible Stalker and used that with the swords, but I believe Runechanter's Pike was actually in Dark Ascension and made the switch, right?
I think Runechanter's Pike is Innistrad, but Thought Scour is what made Runechanter's Pike so much better.
Sure.
It was really Thought Scour that elevated it.
Mm-hmm.
So this list is not playing Stalker. It's main decking a couple copies of Phantasmal Image. We have decided we're going to play under the old rules. So
just for legendary purposes.
Yeah, so Phantasmal Image can copy Thrun, and then they'll both die, which is how the legend rule used to work. Todd's Phyrexian Metamorphs can copy my Geistes and Drafts, effectively act as removal spells.
Hell, it was half the reason I played Phyrexian Metamorph in the first place.
Yeah.
It was primarily a way to deal with Geistes and Trap, but, against a Primeval Titan deck, sometimes I would get the copy their Primeval Titan, get 2 4s, and that would make my Dungro Velders into 7/7s, which the Primeval Titan couldn't block. And they would
sometimes you copy your Strangleroot Geist, and when it dies, it comes back and copy something else.
Sometimes it just copies Sword of War and Peace.
Yeah, you just double up on your sword, so it did some cool stuff. That was one of the big innovations in these green aggressive decks, so that was one of the reasons that my deck was not good. I was not playing Phyrexian Metamorph.
That's fine.
Like a dingus.
All right, well, Delver versus Dunny. Let's go ahead and get to it. Now it's my last day. And I currently am in possession of the marbles. But today, we are playing, since I beat Corey last week, we have decided that if I win today, I'm keeping the marbles.
Okay, I didn't agree to this.
Well,
saying.
But the internet loves it, so it's happening. And if you really want some more marbles to play for, I'll buy you some new ones. How about that? Is that okay?
Put the marbles here. Let's play some Magic.
Okay. All right, well, I'll go first because it's my last day and I get to make the rules.
Yes. I start at 40 life. You mulligan 5.
Oh, this sounds pretty good.
That's lucky.
All right.
Well, my hand started with Island Delver, so
that's
keep.
Pretty good too. Now, this is my kind of rough draft of the deck. My version for the Pro Tour was actually a little bit better, but it wasn't printed anywhere, if I'm not mistaken. So we're using kind of an old list, but
I mean, all these lists are old, Todd.
Your turn.
Well,
that's true.
12.
That's true. They are older than.
Don't even have Gut Shot. I'm so unlucky.
Don't even have Gut Shot. Wow. What are you?
What am I even doing? Dungrove? Ooh, sword.
It's not quite as good. Vapor Snag could be problematic, so we're gonna have to play around that.
We're doing it. My favorite thing in the world. Get it out of here. What?
I'm gonna mutagenic growth this. I have 1 mutagenic growth in the deck. Have you seen this? You heard of this? Mutagenic growth? I'm at 18.
This is just my life.
Look, it was namely there to make combat really rough when people were trying to double block Dungro Velder, but it also helped Dungro Velder survive Slagstorm, which was heavily played in the big mana decks. And also just completely blows out Gunshots. I'm probably still going to get hit with a Snapcaster Gunshot or something. He's just sandbagging me.
You can go.
So you said you weren't able to find his Pro Tour list. Apparently somebody in chat found it.
Found it already?
Seconds.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I blame Ross because he put the decks together because I no longer have access to the message boards.
I did not say I couldn't find it. I said this was easier to find.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, I didn't have anything else to do, so might as well get in there.
Well, that's a tilt because I assumed you would do literally anything else.
I have nothing else to do. All right, so you take 3 plus number in hand.
I go to 10 and you go to 18.
Wow, that's Wow, that's a lot of damage. Bird of Paradise. Mana leak? Leak it? Mana leaky leak?
I probably should have just done this. That would have been smart. Yeah, that would have been really smart, actually. I screwed this game up very badly.
Oh, you should have just imaged the insect?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will let that... God, I really don't want to mana leak that.
Probably should. I don't know. I don't want to give you bad information.
No, that resolves.
All right, your go.
Yeah, I just wasted this entire turn and just threw this game away.
Image copy Delver. Attack.
Ponder.
Sure. Anything that happened over there in chat, Rob? Ross is really tanking on everything here.
Yeah, they were going off on the gut shot mutagenic growth.
Oh yeah, love to hear that. What the hell are you doing? That's not preordained.
It's Ponder. I put them back and I'm about to draw one.
Oh, okay. Thought you were. Look, I'm not paying attention.
Did I put them back? Yeah. Okay, let's copy this thing.
Sure. All right, mutagenic growth.
And attack for 3.
15.
You can go. Now Todd's just going to set double sword me.
No, I'm going to bellowing tangleworm you. Hit you for 8 again.
It's 7.
Oh, 7. All right, so you're at 3. I'll gain 1.
16.
16. Here we go.
The one of bellowing tangleworm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In case, can we get that one on the screen? And Rob, do you have that one hot fixed?
No, I can.
Okay.
As usual, there's always one I don't have.
That's fair.
On my upkeep, I'll thought scour myself.
Yeah, sure.
Don't want these lands. I've screwed this game up pretty badly.
Look, we're only playing for the marbles, okay? It's not like you're playing for anything worth anything. And we got a lot of games to play, so keep moving.
Attack for 6.
That's 10.
And you can no.
Okay.
Rune Chanter's Pike.
Sure.
You can go.
You're at 3.
Yep.
Okay. So Vapor Snag. Targeting both of these for 1 mana. Or did you just forget that I can attack with 2 creatures? I mean, I've played this deck a million times. I gotta try to think of some combination where Ross survives. So if I move Sword of War and Peace here and attack with all 3, I don't think he can do anything. Because even if he has a free spell, it's going to cost him 2 life, put into 1, the elf kills him. There's 1 mana. It's 1 mana. What? And if something goes wrong, I can play Garrick and draw 4 cards. Why is this hard? I don't think it's hard. All right.
Okay. I'm pro green.
You're pro green. Okay, that's the thing.
Because it has Fateful Hour, and I have 5 or less life.
Oh, cool. All right. Garrett, I'll just draw 4 cards.
Yep.
Already played a land. Here we go. Might die. That's pretty unfortunate. The 1-0 Fateful Hour. Face Shield. Ross just complains the whole time. Yeah, there it is. Ross just literally complains the whole time and then kills me.
So I can Vapor Snag that, put you to 9, and then equip and attack you to 10? Or attack you for 10? 11, actually.
Yeah. Just complains the whole time, has the 1 outer.
I was complaining about how poorly I played. But Delver is great.
Classic.
This deck is nice.
Classic.
Play horribly, win anyway.
That's what you want from a deck, right?
This is going to be a great day.
It's either going to be so the thing that y'all don't know is that if I don't win the marbles, I'm going to smash them on the ground. So they're going to roll under all the cards outside. So they're effectively leaving one way or another.
It's like when they used to do pie bets. It's a marble bet.
Yeah.
We'll do the video out in the parking lot. Todd just throwing a jar of marbles at my face.
I'm so mad.
Blood just running down. It's like, why did we do this? This was a bad idea.
All right. Well, my hand's pretty good here. We're gonna keep. Game 2, I'm on the play. Any questions over there while Ross takes forever to have the one-outer again?
Yeah, Histeus had a question. Apparently, Brandon was podcast, so they was talking about what they felt about 8-set standard. How do you all feel about 8-set standard?
It's dumb. It's too big. I don't know. They did some weird stuff with the core set that they do pretty often in the summertime. They print new cards that work insanely well with old cards under the guise that, even if they're too good, eventually they're going to rotate, right? The problem is that now people are getting really savvy to that kind of thing, and people don't want to play, or they don't want to brew like a vampires deck with Sorin when all of the vampires in their deck are about to rotate. And so you just end up having 2 months where no one plays Magic. And it's just not very fun. Like the Scapeshift deck, like Scapeshift is a mythic rare, and people have to craft 4 mythic rares on Arena to play it for 2 months, and then it's gone. So, cool system, bro. Go.
Yeah. That kind of aspect of it is not one that I concern myself with very often. Hold on, it's going to take me 3 minutes to ponder.
I know, which is why I'm already doing my turn. Probably getting gut shotted.
I don't want any of these. They're a little slow.
All right. Well, I gotta make sure he doesn't have a gut shot because I got some things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
This is my favorite part about pondering with Delver is that
You shuffle a lot.
Todd can't take his turn.
Look, I just want to point out that is literally the fastest Ross has ever resolved to ponder, except he's still taking about 30 seconds to shuffle his deck 20 times.
Yep.
Only the top 3 cards were non-random, okay? Just slot them in sideways and give it 2 shuffles. It's fine. Got it?
You can go.
I didn't hit the perfect one? Darn.
So, we'll save that one for later. Little Dunny.
Oh, done it. I want to get this one underneath Mana Leak.
Ugh, not a good set of draws. Secret Coast, go.
How do you like Thrun the Last Troll? How about Thrun the Last Troll into your Mana Leak? It says can't be countered on it. Okay. Attack for 3.
17.
Here we go.
I'm getting kind of crushed this game.
Woo! I'm going to get him to do a strut.
So I think we have to ponder now.
Sure.
And we really want Phantasmal Image to deal with that Thrun, and none of these are Image, and we can't really race, so let's shuffle off this ponder to you.
What's your favorite version of the elemental rule?
You mean the Legend rule?
Or the legend rule, sorry. I don't know why I said elemental.
This one's actually my favorite. I like being able to copy them to kill them, especially the ones that have hexproof. Like, they're just super annoying for a lot of decks to interact with. This format would have been absolutely miserable if Image couldn't copy Geist and Metamorph couldn't copy Geist or Thrun. Like there was a Sun Titan on Barrel Rights deck that played 4 Phantasmal Image so that it could either use it early as a Doomblade on Geist and Sanctraft or create a Sun Titan chain later in the game. Alright, well, we still got Mana Leak. So, let's play Stranger Root, guys. Alright, let's attack for 10. Which is 7.
Yep.
And with 2 mana here, I'm not sure what else he can do that's that relevant. I can't just let him Mana Leak a Sword of Worm Piece so that he just doesn't have leak next turn for this thing I'm going to do, maybe. But I also just kind of wait for him to tap out. All right, go.
Yeah, I mean, you have lethal damage on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you need to do anything else.
True.
I'm at 7.
Just trying to think, was using your 2 mana, if you could just use the Snapcaster Mage as a blocker next turn, and just cast it and get that mana, was that worth me just trading a Worm Piece for a Mana Leak? The Worm Piece doesn't really do a whole lot at the moment.
Snap Ponder.
Yep. Another reason why Worm Piece was really good is because Lingering Souls was hugely popular. And the fact that Lingering Souls was super popular just meant that you needed some way for your big creature with hexproof to break through.
The human aggro decks are also very popular around this time. It's the most played deck at the Pro Tour. Thalio was just printed. It was a big deal.
It was a great deck, too. Honor of the Pure was a really powerful Anthem effect. We had previously not had a good 2-mana one for standard play for a while for those white weenie decks. Everyone was just playing like Glorious Anthem and stuff.
You can go.
Okay. You guys, or Stringer Root guys.
Yep.
Green Sun for 2.
That'll do it. I block one thing, snag one Geist, and take 8. So,
I actually cut down to 2 Strangle Geist in my Pro Tour list, so I was just making sure I had another one here. All right, 1-1. We doing 3 pre, 2 posts, or are we doing 2 pre, 3 posts?
3 posts.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to take a short break here while we get sideboards put together for you. Get some questions in at SEG Tour in the chat. Rob's going to pick some faves and ask those while we're playing. Make sure to keep it old school. Maybe ask me some questions about, career stuff. That'd be
2012.
Cool. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back.
And welcome back here to Sideboarding with Azorius Delver against Mono Green Aggro. Both Todd and I were sort of commiserating over the break about how it's been so long. We don't really remember exactly how we sideboarded. And this is not the list I used to play, but it's pretty clear to me that Dungeon Geist is our best sideboard card. Just excellent at locking down some of the larger green creatures, in particular Strangleroot Geist.
Yep.
And just a flying body as opposed to Geist of Saint Trap that gets so easily blocked on the ground. Oddly enough, I'm trimming a Vapor Snag because Todd has so many battlefields that he can present with just big hexproof creatures that I think hands that are flooded on this card end up being a liability. And trimming 1 Pike, and sort of trying to keep my curve low. So we're cutting a 3 and what is essentially a 4-drop in Pike for 2 4s. Don't want to raise the curve too high in a matchup where Todd can run me over, as we saw in game 2. And then a couple removal spells. Divine Offering matches up really well against Sword of War and Peace. We saw in game 1, if that connects, it can be problematic. Oblivion Ring can deal with a whole host of things. And the Mutagenic Growth, I think, is the worst card in the deck. There's just this card was meant to counter opposing gut shots like you saw Todd do in game 1.
My side, Garruk Primal Hunter is more of an anti-control card. It was my big top-end effect to give me something to do with the mana sinks. But, we have Sword of War and Peace for that, and I think that is enough in this matchup, and just accelerating gives them enough value. We're cutting basically everything that costs 5 that doesn't have an immediate impact. Tangleworm is more of an aggressive card, and I think in this matchup we actually have to be a lot more defensive. So we're going to bring in Ratchet Bomb and 1 copy of Naturalize. We saw Runecharier's Pike be absolutely devastating in game number 1. But it has some sideboard utility as well against Oblivion Ring. But normally, this type of matchup, they had equipment that like Swords of their own, and if they have Sword of Feast and Famine, we have no way to deal with it. So we need some way to beat it. So, do you have those?
No, I've got War and Pieces in the sideboard. You're the one with Feast and Famines.
We could bring in the other Naturalize, but I used to like to wait to see which sword they had before I brought in the second one.
Yeah, sometimes you'd see sort of Feast and Famine in these decks. Definitely nice with Geist to get that card through. But Feast and Famine, I would definitely leave in all 4 Geist of Saint Traps.
All right, hit us with some questions while we're shuffling up here, Robbo.
All right. So first, Corey B. MTG.
What's up?
Who could that be?
I know, right? Wanted to know, for an old school question, where were you born, Todd?
I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. Roll Tide.
All right, and then for another old school question, Master Marshmallow, what was your favorite period in Legacy, or just your favorite Legacy deck?
My favorite period in Legacy was the time I started on the SCG Tour up until the point where the card True Name Nemesis was printed. I thought that making cards in the Commander decks that had huge impacts in Legacy, while not really having a great use in Commander, was just really crappy. I
Agreed.
thought True Name Nemesis really ruined the Stoneforge v Stoneforge matchups because it just gave you a creature that could never get killed or blocked. It also just put way too much stress on any opposing deck that tried to play fair because Swords of Plowshares, Lightning Bolt didn't work. Normally Swords of Plowshares hits any creature that can be equipped, so equipment comes with a cost of trying to put it on the battlefield and then put it on a creature.
Yeah, comes with a lot of risk.
All right, a couple more. Got to take some questions today. So last time I'm gonna for a
Fab
while.
Man, what was your favorite versus live moment?
Knocking on the fireball with Ross against Brad. Last game of the day. It was insane.
Yeah, one-outed Brad with a Banefire out of the Boris Aggro deck.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I was sitting over in the booth, and Ross is just like, Todd, I need some help. And I ran over there, smacked the deck, peeled it right off the top. And we've gotten a lot of mileage out of that face. I believe that's also your emote.
It is. I think it's my emote. It is my Twitter avatar.
Well, your Twitter avatar is riding on Arclight Phoenix.
Yeah, but it's a crop of that riding on Arclight Phoenix.
With a conductor's hat on.
Yes. There's a lot going on.
Yes, it's a lot. All right. Well,
Okay.
Let's go ahead and play game number 3.
I'm on the play. Got a nice little aggressive one here. I like it.
I don't really think I can keep 5 land 2 bird.
Okay. Sounds like we're taking another question.
All right.
There we are. All right, so this one's for you, Ross.
Ooh.
About Todd from Frodo. Ross, what is the most proud you've been of Todd?
Aw.
Most proud I have been of Todd. Huh.
That either means he has nothing or he has a lot. 50-50.
I am proud of Todd's political evolution over the last, 2 years.
All right.
I don't think anyone is, unaware of where my politics lie, and I've been able to sort of. Todd's been very receptive.
Yeah. For a guy from Alabama, I am particularly far left. All right, we're doing London Moles, yeah.
Yep,
All right, I'm gonna look at 7.
that's our one modern adaptation.
Okay. This hand does not seem like it goes great with the Sword of War and Peace because we don't have a 1-drop thing, so we're gonna bottom it.
Okay, I will start on Seacrum Coast Delver.
Yep.
The nuts.
Go.
And Flippy Flippy. Nope.
Yes. Got a shot.
Attack for 1.
19.
Okay, Island Delver. You're up.
Uh-oh. I got an aggressive one too, but I'm going to lose this race.
I'm at 18. You're at 19.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 triggers.
Brick! Yes!
Attack for 2.
17.
You can go.
Ooh, don't have a Geist.
Another small question. Tom Ross wants to know what's the favorite place to eat in Roanoke?
Favorite place to eat in
Or
Roanoke?
best place.
Best
That's how
place
we
to eat in
put it.
Roanoke. Honestly, there's a little hamburger place on Williamson Road called Richie Freeze. And they have, I kid you not, the best cheeseburger I have had in a very long time. I ate there for lunch yesterday. Probably going to eat there one more time before I leave.
Yeah. I am partial to Martin's downtown.
I know I'm getting mana leaked or something, but I'm
And
just going to play Dunny.
yeah, that one's got mana leaked.
All right. So I can hold back Strangaroo, guys, but I feel like that's the coward move. I'm just going to
Yeah,
attack.
16.
Because if he flips some, I just miss on 2 damage, and it doesn't really matter because I don't have Corrosive Gale or anything like that to check them. Yes!
This is unbelievable.
Are they all lands or all creatures? Because if they're creatures, that means they're Snapcaster Mages and I'm dead.
Attack for 2. You're at 15.
Land go?
You're up.
Yes! All right. They're all lands. Every single one is a land.
Until I snap mana leak your spell.
You don't have Snap. Coward. Okay, Dunny, or I can Strangaroo Geist and then Green Sun for 1 and go get like a bird. I think I just played Dungrove Elder.
Results.
Attack.
14.
Doesn't have it. Brick! 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 Yes! Another land! We're doing it! 4 lands in hand. Let's go.
Go.
All right.
You don't seem happy, Ross.
What clue do you in, Rob?
All right, I'm a 15. You're at 14. I think I need to save Phyrexian Metamorph for when he does ultimately transform the Delvers, so I can copy one and block it. So with that in mind, well, maybe I should just copy Strangaroo, guys. I don't know. I need to use my mana more efficiently, I think. So we go to 13. That leaves us with a 2-turn Delver clock, but a Vapor Snag or a Gut Shot ends up killing us. You only hit him for 6. You're at 14, going down to 8 if I attack, and you don't block.
Yep.
All right, let's attack for 6.
Considering chumping a Dungrove here, just making a token with Moorland Haunt, it does really affect my clock if I'm able to transform these, but I've got to think of the clock on the way back. Like if I draw, Gut Shot or generally I would think if I'm transforming them, it's with a cantrip, and that could draw, nothing. I could just be dead next turn. Mm-hmm. These aren't trading with the Dungrove, but yeah, I'm gonna block.
Okay, you take 2, you're at 12.
Yep.
I'm going to Zenith for 3, go get another Dungrove Elder.
Yep. I will make a spirit. Didn't get me any spirits. Come on, Rob.
I completely forgot the Moorland Haunt.
Okay.
All right.
I'm already dead.
Brick! Now he hits it. Well,
Thought is not a bad one since I can mill for Moorland Haunt.
Yeah, he can mill for Moorland Haunt. He has a creature he can activate. That's nice. He has a chump blocker with the spirit. Drew another land. Ross is mad. Mad Ross.
Okay, how can I steal this game? Didn't mill a creature, didn't draw a spell.
12? I'm not even currently presenting lethal.
Yeah, with a land. A land or a Geist or a Zenith. I've got 4 spells for Pike, and so that's not even lethal. Because that'll be 4. It's 4, 4, and then 4 from Pike would be 12. I guess I could scour into Pike, like chain cantrips into it to kill you. If I leave a blocker back and this gets in for 6 total, I'll need a 9-point Pike. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. That's a double scour Pike, or like scour plus hit 2 instant sorceries plus ponder, something like that, or vapor snag. 4? Okay, I'm at.
You're at 11. You're up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna play a land. I'm gonna play Stranger Root Guys. I'm gonna copy a Stranger Root Guys. I'm gonna go to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Yes! Got it. All right. 2-1. How much time we got left? 135. We got plenty of time. We're going to play best of 5 here.
Oh, yeah.
Question me, bro.
All right. Jay Waddle wants to know, what was your first GP? How did you do and what'd you play?
My first... Oh, this is a good one. Okay, because I was trying to think and actually remember this one fondly. My first ever Grand Prix was in Atlanta. Circa 2003, maybe it was 2004 or maybe 2002. I forget which. It was at Dragon Con. It was the one where Brian Kibler made top 8, and it was right after Zvi Moshwitz had written about a really particularly interesting Goblin bidding deck featuring Patriarch's bidding and all the really powerful goblins from Onslaught Block. This was standard, and I ended up playing that Burning Wish Goblin deck. I went, I believe I went 7-2 on day 1 or 6-2 on day 1, and it was quite small. But back then, they cut to top 64 for day 2, and my tiebreakers were not very good because I started with no buys. So I missed I missed day 2 on breakers at X and 2.
Yeah, it wasn't like now where if you have the same record or 64th, you let them all in. It was literally just a 64-person cut. If you were 65th on breakers, tough.
Yeah, it was pretty disheartening. But my losses in that tournament were to 2 really good players. I lost to Kai. Kaibu beat me in the Goblin Mirror in round 4 after I started 3-0.
Yeah.
He was playing Buried Alive in his Patriarch's Bidding Goblin deck. Just smushed me in the mirror because he went Buried Alive for War Chief Sharpshooter, and 2 Goblin Sharpshooters in the mirror with the War Chief. You can't cast Patriarch's Bidding yourself because then his come back as well.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that's how that works.
Yeah, you both choose a creature type, and then both players return all creatures of both chosen types.
Yeah, so that one was super good. I actually got to meet Zvi at that tournament, and I
apparently got to meet Kai too.
Yeah, got to meet him in a weird way where he just smushes me. And this was when Kai was at his peak, like tearing up like every Pro Tour he played.
My first Grand Prix was a little bit after that. It was Mirrored and Block Constructed. I played Affinity. It was in New Jersey.
Big shots.
And I went 6-3.
Nice.
Then I got my first PTQ top 8 the next day.
Cool.
Also with Affinity.
I don't even remember my first PTQ top 8. that whole era was weird for me. It was also 16 years ago.
Yeah. It was a huge PTQ on day 2 of the Grand Prix, and like we were in this like sports complex in New Jersey, and it was middle of summer. It was like August. It was super hot out. The room was really hot, but they had a bunch of air conditioning vents in the ceiling, but they didn't really circulate well. So if you were sitting beneath one of the vents, it was freezing cold. But if you're sitting anywhere else, it was sweaty hot. And my last round, my winning in for the PTQ top 8 was under one of the vents, and so I'm already nervous, and then I'm freezing cold. I was just like shaking. Like I almost got like GRVs from like knocking cards off my deck.
That sucks.
It was I still won.
That's cool.
We're good.
So Todd, also, what are your plans for Magic now that you're moving away from Roanoke?
Currently, my plan is to start streaming full time. Probably going to start that at the beginning of next month, after I get back from doing commentary at the Open in Dallas, and see how that goes. If streaming does not end up being as lucrative as I hope, I may branch out and do some more stuff. Maybe start a podcast. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff I can do, but figuring out what to do is what's most important. So
You got some time. My hand's sweet. I'll start on a Delver, and maybe we'll transform this one.
So, go. Oh,
SpaghettiOs. I'm gonna probe you. Go to 18.
I don't got a land, so you got a gut shot, and you probably got me good. I think I kept a looser, or unless you might have also kept a looser.
I will thought scour myself.
Ooh, he doesn't have a land.
I have a land.
Oh.
It's just a glacial fortress, but now I drew an island.
Okay.
So that's sweet. So I can thought scour myself again and dig with his gut shot.
Yeah. If he hits it, it's gonna be tough.
Did not hit it. Attack for 3.
Okay, so leaks in your hand. I'm gonna leave mine face up for you.
You're at 17. 17 to 18. You're up.
Okay.
So we are playing under the old rules again. So Insectile Aberration back then had CMC of 0, which means this Ratchet Bomb can take care of it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop it. Your turn. I don't want to be able to Vapor Snag his Delver and then recast it on the same turn. And it's not going to kill anything else for a while, because even if he plays a Delver, he can just choose not to transform it until I pop Ratchet Bomb. So I'm just taking 3, taking 3, taking 3.
I'll go to 16. Probe you again.
Yep.
I already know what's there.
Look, man, you gotta leave the mana leaf face up. I left my hand face up. I'm just kidding. Geist?
You can go.
All right. Well, he has Leak up, so I can't play anything really except the Thrun. So let's do that.
Yep.
Your turn.
On your end step, I will snap a Thought Scour.
Yeah. He probably has Phantasmal Image for it, which is unfortunate, but maybe we can just play 2 guys next turn or something. Not sure.
I do not have Phantasmal Image, but I do have Runechanter's Pike.
It's pretty good. How big is he?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5, so it's a 7. So like I can get in for 7, get Todd to 10, and he can like double Geist. He probably just leaves at least 1 back. Or I can just hold this back and check the Thrun.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just want to get aggressive though.
All right, I'm at 10.
You can go.
So I can go ahead and play Ratchet Bomb and start ticking it up to 2 to try to pop off the Snapcaster Mage. And I can do that and play Strangleroot Geist. And I die if he has a removal for the Geist that's Vapor Snag specifically, and he has 1 other instant, I think, right? 7, 9, yeah. So, because you have 5 right now, so Vapor Snag 6, anything else is 7. So I'm just going to hold back and say go, and if he has an answer for Strangleroot, then I'll just chump with the Thrun. I could have maybe gone Strangleroot Geist past turn and then use Thrun to regenerate, but the longer I do that, the less I get ahead on the battlefield. And I don't think I'm winning with a Thrun attack. It's not really worth the risk.
Okay, well, I am going to show you a nice one here in Dungeon Geist.
Yeah,
Let's tap down the Strangleroot and attack you for another 7. Would you like to go to 3?
No, I'll block.
Okay, all right, pass the turn.
Charge it.
Oddly enough, with the Ratchet Bomb at 2, Todd will get back this Strangleroot Geist, which is a little awkward for me. But getting the Thrun off the battlefield is a pretty big coup.
Play Strangle,
Yep.
and I'll Green Sun for a bird.
So I need a land. It is not a land. Oh wait, no, I don't, because I got the one from Snag. So I can snag. That puts me down to. Oh no, it puts me. I only had 5 in the to begin with, right? 1, 2.
Yeah, so you go down to 4. You move forward to Dungeon Geist. That's 7.
I had 7 in my head, and I was like, oh, I've got 7, and then I just add it. So I added that 7. So that's not going to be good. So what do I want to do then? I think you have 2 in hand.
Yep. Might bring in the other Naturalized because of this, because that Runeterror Spike is killer. Just makes Snapcaster Mage into a real threat.
Yeah, this is an awkward one because I have to play around the Ratch Bomb, and I kind of want to leave up this Mana Leak for next turn. But leaving up the Mana Leak plays further into the Ratchet Bomb. What if I play this? Does not seem that good.
Come on.
Yeah, I think I just want to get this down. So I'm going to play Dungeon Geist and tap down the Strangleroot's going to die to this thing. So I think I want to tap down the bird, actually, and attack for 10. So we'll block there. You go to 7. So now if Todd wants to blow these up, he has to lose this Geist entirely.
Yep.
You can go.
Draw.
Yep.
Attack.
I think that's fine. So that's I take 8.
6, 7, 8. You go to 8. I gain 1 up to 8.
Yep.
And I'll go ahead and blow this, I guess, because I don't want you to be able to Vapor Snag your thing. Your turn.
Okay. Not the best, but
So what's your life total, Ross?
I'm at 8. We're both at 8.
Yeah.
Attack for 6. 2. You go to 2. You can go. No, I think we're in good shape.
Go snag in the yard.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I have Snap Snag and Mana Leak for this turn, so.
Super close one. The second Dungeon Geist was pretty bad, but the first one was the killer.
Yeah.
Also, this version doesn't have a lot of ways to interact with flyers. And the updated list from the Pro Tour actually played 2 or 3 Corrosive Gale on the sideboard, which was particularly good against the Drogskull Captain decks.
Yep. That was a popular sideboard card following the Pro Tour. I played 1 at the Baltimore NV in March.
I'm going to go ahead and get the other Naturalized in here. I'm going to cut another kind of expensive card because the games I'm losing are the games where I kind of get stuck with a bunch of 3s, 4s, and 5s in my hand. I think the Threns are great. He just needs to have image for them. The Garruk Relentless might be good as well, but I think the card I want to cut is actually the Mutagen Growth. It does some cool stuff sometimes. And maybe Sword of War and Peace is actually the one I want to cut because it is a little clunky and slow, and I have a bunch of them.
Yeah, you definitely don't want multiples. Looking, maybe I want that third Pike. Pike's been pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the reason why you won the 2 games you won. So I probably would bring in the third Pike again and maybe cut
And cut another Geist on the draw. Geist is Saint Trapped.
Trapped is a little weak when you're playing more defensive, and you have to play a lot more defensive on the draw against this deck, especially if you don't have an answer for a turn 1 Elf or Bird.
It's not only been hard for me to imagine it, connecting with it and like getting through your blockers, it's also been hard to take 3 mana to actually cast it.
Mm-hmm. All right, what you got for me, Rob?
Histeus wants to know, do you think equipment will be constructed playable again, such as the swords and Runechanger Spike? And if it does, do you think it encourages good gameplay?
I think, well, first of all, I thought equipment as a design were insane for the game. The very first format they were in was Mirrored and Limited. And Mirrored and Limited was one of the best limited formats I've ever played.
A little Bone Splitter, a little Lean and Bola, a little Verdian Longbow.
They made them really powerful in a context for Limited specifically because they made smaller creatures worthwhile. And so you would have a lot of like 3-mana 2/2s with a specific ability that would get a lot better when you equip them. You would have a lot of 2-drops that standalone were pretty weak. But once you put a Bone Splitter on them, they actually became like a 4/4 or 5/5 or something like that. It just really changed gameplay based on being able to pick up those really powerful equipment.
Constructed, they were less of a hit.
Right, but they pushed
Skull
the
Clamp.
envelope with the swords, and they made some equipment that weren't really equipment. Jite is not really an equipment. It's a card that once you connect with it one time, the game starts to steamroll in your favor heavily.
Yeah.
Skull Clamp is literally a combo card. Like it just functions like an equipment, but it's not really an equipment.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there. Cranial Plating, just like a huge synergy card payoff for being these artifact decks.
Cranial Plating does. I do consider that one equipment.
It does play like an equipment, but it's a pushed like synergy card.
Yeah.
But the swords did not see play when they were first in standard because like Affinity was too fast, too good.
Sure, but that was more of a subject of the surroundings. The following format, like this one, the swords were in like every aggressive deck. Even the mono white decks would board like multiple Feast and Famines or War and Pieces based on the metagame.
Yep.
And they were quite good
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
Sword of War and Peace was selling for $50 the day before this Pro Tour.
Yeah. All right. My hand's pretty good. We're going to keep.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's Pro Butte.
Gut shot. Land, 2 more birds, Slime, and Zenith.
Do not have the gut shot, but I have a Delver.
All righty.
You're up.
All right. So, should I go ahead and get a Strangle Geist or save it for something bigger later? That's a good question, Todd. I don't know.
Nobody knows. But it's provocative.
Gets people going. All right. Let's do that. Your turn.
Okay. Let's see if I can transform a Delver.
Ever.
Nope. It's never, ever. You're up.
So this is getting mana leaked. Do I want the Slime to get mana leaked or the Zenith? I can play around and leak the Zenith for 2. Go get a Stringer guy, start attacking. I'll go through my deck real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave the top couple cards the same. That might take away the thing that I want to get. So Stringer Geist is like the premier 2-drop. Getting at X equals 4 can give me a Thrun, which can be particularly difficult to interact with. This version doesn't have Daybreak Ranger, so I can't have a way to fend off the Delver Secrets. Alright, I'm just gonna... The Mana Leak's probably going to get something at some point, so let's just go with the Acidic Slime. It's going to get counter, but whatever.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to not attack, and so he can't attack me for 1 if he doesn't flip.
Coward.
I don't win this game that way.
We did it.
Sure.
Normally I would like to slam Geist here, but Todd's deck has so many Hexproof creatures that Zenith finds that this Geist probably just isn't really getting through. Still, it does maybe like hold it back. What else am I doing if I'm not casting Geist? We're definitely getting in for 3.
So,
let's play Glacial Fortress. And Yeah, let's just play it, guys.
Okay.
You can go.
Yes, I'll just get Dungrove Elder. This iteration doesn't have Primeval Titan or anything super big to go get.
Yeah.
And I boarded out the Bellowing Tangleworm, which doesn't matter too much at the moment.
And Todd would much rather get Dungrove here than Thrun because I can image the Thrun, and that would be a disaster.
Yeah. I will also play an elf. Take up.
Don't forget to shuffle.
Yeah. Good call. Now I'm kind of empty, but I've drawn a bunch of mana sources and 2 payoffs. The leak on the first payoff was a bit awkward.
Get in there.
Go to 14.
Yep. And
Fern is also a great draw as the game progresses. It can't be countered.
play it over.
Yep.
You can go.
Cut.
You're good.
This matchup is not particularly good for me. So I can hold back 2 elves, potentially double block. You have Vapor Snag that I know about, right?
Yes.
You revealed.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So the longer I wait, though, it's just, I don't know what to do. Go.
Trigger this Delver.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in a weird spot where like not much you do really helps. Attack for 3.
11.
You can go.
Kind of want to save the birds for blocking the Geist Angel. Go. Another iteration of this deck played a bunch of Primeval Titans and then 1 green-red land and 1 Keswick Wolf Run.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Attack for 3.
8.
Play an island and image the aberration.
Okay.
You can go.
Ratchet Bomb. Okay. You win.
I mean, you're not dead yet.
Okay. Go.
Well, actually, no. Wait, yes, you are, because I have Snapcaster to go with this.
Yeah.
So I just bounced the 2 flyers, get Todd to 6, and I'm getting in for 10.
2 payoffs and 10 mana sources. Not ideal, but that's kind of the downside of this deck, and I actually sided out a lot of my top end. You know, I don't have Primal Hunters in my deck anymore, stuff like that. So
that's just been the downside of mana creature aggro decks since the history of Magic. Like you when you're playing mana creatures, you still have to play enough lands to make your land drops, because the point is to try to play your 3-drop on turn 2, not to just like use the Llanowar Elf as your second land drop. And then, that leads to, when you regularly flood, you extra flood because 8 of your cards are these poopy mana creatures.
Yeah. This version, rough draft, ended up not really panning out. Obviously, this is the matchup I did lose in the quarterfinals against Ben Isger back in DC. Repeat of history, not really that surprising.
That is one of the reasons that Keswick Wolfrun was such a powerful card. It gave, and one of the reasons that the Gruul version was more popular than this version ultimately. Like, Keswick Wolfrun was just such a perfect mana sink for these decks, particularly good with Birds of Paradise, getting some evasion.
Yep. Well, it already gave Trample, but
and then your, I guess it did give Trample. Your Huntmaster made 2 bodies to like target with it, give you something to do, and then transform your Huntmaster.
Zenith for Huntmaster was super good.
Yeah.
But the mono green version was particularly good in my eyes just because you had, those Hexproof creatures with Dungrove Elder, and just gave you like a really powerful opening starts with like Dungrove into Sword of War and Peace.
Yeah.
Like some of the control backs or whatever.
The green-red list didn't really have a good 3-drop. Daybreak Ranger proved to not be very good. So they were mainly casting like Zenith for Geist or Sword on turn 2. Those were your best 3-mana plays. Didn't really have a good 3-mana creature. So Dungrove did serve that role.
Yeah, and I did come to the conclusion that Daybreak was kind of a necessary one-up, even in the mono-green deck, because it allowed you to Zenith for a creature that could deal with Delver Secrets. And the insectile aberration there obviously was kind of eating me alive. I agreed on Zenith. I didn't have anything to get that could stop Delver Secrets, and that's why at the Pro Tour I went super hard on Corrosive Gale. I went super hard on Daybreak Ranger. I had 2 in the main. I don't know if I had anything else. I might even have like Plummet or something like that.
I have 3 Daybreak Rangers in my main deck. They were horrible.
Sure.
Even against the Lingering Souls decks, they were not good.
All right, let's take some questions here before we move on to the next one.
All right, we have a design question from Tom the Boss Ross.
All right.
Ooh.
What should the green-white sword abilities be? Rossi wants you to pick the green one, and Todd, you get the white ability.
Well, why doesn't it just like make a token and then populate? Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, doesn't one of the... What's the one they just made that puts a counter and then adds a counter on everything? Proliferates?
I don't remember which ones they just printed.
I think that's I don't know. Maybe that's the red and white one. No, that's not. It's not the black white. It's green white, blue white. The blue white one, and puts a plus and puts a counter on something and proliferates. So the green one making a token and populating would be quite cool.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what token. Like the sort of body of mine already makes a wolf token. Maybe we just copy that. A wolf token proliferate it.
I guess you have to make it more unique. And I don't think it can self-contain, make a thing and populate. That seems really powerful. So populate works with every token you have.
Well, no, you make a copy of any token. So if you have a 5/5, like you make a 1/1, and then you can make a 5/5 when you populate.
Sure.
So it'd be like connect to make 2 1/1s, but then you have extra bodies to like keep moving the sword around.
So you just make a 1/1 soldier and then you populate.
I think the populate is more the white half, so the green half is more make the token. So it probably has to be a green token.
Sure.
But they're both pretty Celestia abilities.
Insect?
And so maybe make an insect to populate, but I could see like soldier and populate too. There we go. That's our answer.
No, it's not.
That's my answer. So if I see that in a set, Tom.
You want credit? Where
Yeah.
Tom was saying 1/1 flyer and populate.
1/1 flyer and populate, like the Sky Scar, the 4-mana spell.
Sure.
That was a good comp. No, the common in RTR, Return to Ravnica. It was 3 and a white instant. You made a 1/1 bird and populate.
Skies?
Something like that.
Anyway.
Anytime you made a 5/5 with that card, at instant speed, you're like Advent of the Worm Plus.
Come on, Rob.
All right. What's your favorite, or what's the best way to practice the deck before a tournament?
I think just running through the fire. A lot of reps on either arena on ladder. Higher on the ladder is better than lower on the ladder. But you can just play a bunch of Magic Online 5-round tournaments like the leagues or whatever. I just think that you need to play with the deck a ton. Back when I was having a lot of success, I was playing roughly 50 hours of Magic a week. Most of that was done on Magic Online just to get practice for the weekend.
Yeah. I'll say I like to do my testing in sort of 2 phases. The first phase is like Todd said, I want a wide range when I'm just getting getting used to a deck and learning it. So I want to play against a big spread of things, see a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different interactions. So you get the broad strokes down. So that's when you're playing the arena ladder, the leagues on Magic Online, things like that. And then towards the end, once I have an idea of how the deck works, there are certain any sample of 50 matches that you play is going to have some holes. Maybe you didn't play against popular deck X that often, or this sideboard cards didn't come up. Then you've got to figure out where your holes are. Determine what your predicted metagame is for the weekend. What are the decks that I'm not that comfortable with? Maybe a new plan I want to try out. Then you need to get a friend and you sit down and you play those specific things. And so you fill in the gaps that happened from your broad strokes testing.
Now, I'll also say this: week 1 decks are almost never as good as week 3 decks or week 2 decks.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of that is because when the format takes hold after the results of the first weekend, you know what you're going to face. And so you can kind of sculpt the rest of your deck with those decks in mind. And so it makes your deck just a lot more streamlined versus the expected metagame.
Yeah. As the format progresses, you want to do more phase 2 testing and less phase 1 testing. Yeah. Early, more phase 1.
All right. Well, that's going to do here for the first match, but we still got 2 on the way. I'm going to need to win both of them to take the marbles to California with me. But we got 2 doozies, 2 of my favorite decks of all time coming up. Don't go anywhere. Be right back for more Versus Live.